Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Theater Talks with Scott. It is December 2024. It's the 5th, I think, yeah. This is one of my annual Broadway birthday bash, and tonight I saw a brand new musical I knew nothing about. A what? Yes! Not from a movie? No. Not a revival? No. Not from other source material? No. Maybe happy ending. I'm getting a bad glare tonight. I don't know what's going on with my tech. Oh, there. That's better, right? Maybe Happy Ending is a brand new musical at the Belasco Theatre. It is starring Darren Criss and making her Broadway debut. And a young actress I've never heard of. I apologize if I'm supposed to have. Helen Shen. You guys know I don't do mainstream and I don't watch TV, so I know theater. But they are in this new musical that is very charming and lovely. And through the entire night, the audience is going, oh, oh, oh. It really draws you in. It's there's only 4 actors. Helen Shen, she plays Claire, and Darren Criss plays Oliver. They are HelperBots. This is set in Korea, just outside of Seoul, way in the future. And they are human robots who are past their prime. And they have been put out to pasture, which is HelperBot Yard, I think they called it. Now, listen, I knew nothing going in. I mean, I didn't Google it. I didn't read reviews. So this is all my experience, my opinion from one performance, okay? So just keep that in mind. So you meet these robots, and it's confusing because the music is 1950s. It's definitely like a Duke Ellington, or I don't know if that's 50s, but it's a Duke Ellington, it's a Count Basie, it's a Nat King Cole feel. And so there is a guy who, a man who's a singer, and he appears. He doesn't interact with them really very much, but he sings different songs. They're new songs, but they sound old. They have done a beautiful job of making those songs sound perfectly like they fit in that era. So that is going on. So basically, these 2 robots, they don't know each other. They live across the hall from each other. And Oliver has been there for like 13 years. His owner, James, took him there. Oliver believes that James is going to come back and get him. And so every day he's looking for him. And Oliver is an older HelperBot, so his movements are much more robotic. And I'm just going to stop right here and say Darren Criss is effing amazing. And his movement for 90 minutes and his focus and his concentration. You did not see Johnny Versace. I did not see the beautiful Darren Criss that was in the show Hollywood on Netflix, where he plays the director. It was not Darren Criss from several years ago, where he held his own with Sam Rockwell and Lawrence Fishburne in Mammoth's American Buffalo. I mean, held his own with those 2 powerhouses. He's a phenomenal actor. I've never seen him like this. It's just amazing. And really pay attention at the curtain call when he breaks character and you start seeing his movement. It is just amazing. It's really, really solid. And his speaking and his focus and everything. Claire is a newer robot, but she's not as sturdy. She doesn't last as long, but she's more human. And so she moves better, and she's more human, and she can drive cars, and she can do things like that. But both of these robots are put out to pasture. They're retired. So what do? They live there. So Claire needs power because she's not made as durable, so he has to help her, and they form a friendship. And they form a relationship. Can robots love and feel real human emotions? That's explored. It is done so beautifully. and so well. There is a trip. Um, Claire wants to help Oliver accept his circumstances because he's dreaming of James and he can't wait till James comes back and everything's about James. I'm not going to give you so many spoilers. I'm just going to tell you that, which you can tell that from the beginning. He ain't going to reconnect back with James. But you hear the stories about why Helen was put out to pasture. Heartbreaking. And everything with Oliver, very, very heartwarming. It really is. It's one of those musicals. It's just like, I was really impressed with the two of them singing. Their voices. I love Darren Criss's voice, and he sounds different than he often does. You don't get the power that he has. That Darren Criss has a lot of power and a lot of range in his vocal ability. You don't really see that in this show, but it makes great use of his tone and his power and what he does have. Helen, when Claire was singing on her own, I was a little, but the two of them together, their voices are gorgeous, and that's why I think Darren had to pull back a little on some of his stuff because she's not as big as he is, and that's true acting and reacting and working together. Just very, very. There were some surprises. There are some twists that are really cool. For me, though, what it really made me think about, and I got emotional because I'm 57, and I'm still very, very young. Okay, I have a mother who's 87. End of life. What do you do when things are no longer what they were? Where do you go? What do you do? How do you spend your day? You don't work anymore. You don't have anybody you're living with. It can be lonely. And yet these are robots. So are they lonely or are they not? You need to decide. You need to go to the Belasco Theatre and see maybe happy ending. It might have a happy ending. And it might not. It's kind of up to you. For me, I have been doing a lot of self-reflecting over the last number of years, but this last 2 weeks especially, some things happened that I really had to look at myself and where I'm at in my life. And this play hit me like a ton of bricks. And so thank you to Hugh Park, I think I said that right, and Will Aronson, and Michael Arden, who's the director. I do have one critique. And for those of you that go to Belasco, sit in the center section of the orchestra. It's very unique the way they do the set design and also the scenic design. I'm not gonna get into that because it is very futuristic. It is very Korean. It's right, but on the sides, I was on row F on the aisle, but on the side aisle, not on the center aisle, row F, and there were times I thought I was missing something. I probably wasn't actually missing much, but I would see her like hanging stuff on a door or doing something, but I couldn't see the door. I could see her, but I couldn't see it, if that makes sense. That's the only real criticism that I have, other than the annoying guy behind me who kept kicking my chair for 90 minutes. No, there's no intermission. It's at the Belasco, so there is merchandise, which I love. And the merchandise is owned by, there's a sign at the merchandise booth, but at the Belasco, it's over to the side. It's not where it is in a lot of theaters. You have to kind of look for it. Orchestra level over to the side. And the merchandise is done by a local black-owned business, small business. And they have a little sign there, so that was cool. So I bought extra. So all in all, a gorgeous show. I have a huge man crush on Darren Criss. We've talked about that before. He's right up there with all my other hot guys that they're all about the same age. Wow. Anyway, maybe happy ending was not the Darren Criss I wanted to see, but I'm so glad I did. And what a beautiful show. and a story and something for us to think about. Take care of each other. If you're lonely, find somebody to reach out to. Or message me, and I'll come. And maybe we can have a maybe happy ending. Ooh. And that's a great way to end. Bye, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow.